In a small village deep in the heart of Africa, there lived a woman named Amina. She was known by everyone as the village mad woman because she often wandered around talking to herself and doing strange things. Despite her odd behavior, the villagers treated her kindly, giving her food and shelter when she needed it. One day, as Amina was walking through the village, she suddenly stopped in front of a young man named Kwame. Kwame was a handsome and strong farmer, well respected in the village for his hard work and kindness. Amina pointed at him and shouted, You are the one!" The villagers gasped in shock. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. A mad woman accusing Kwame of something unthinkable. Kwame laughed nervously, thinking Amina was just being her usual eccentric self. But Amina was insistent. She claimed that Kwame was the father of her unborn child. The villagers whispered and murmured among themselves. How could this be? Kwame was a good man, and everyone knew he would never do such a thing. But Amina was adamant, and soon rumors began to spread like wildfire throughout the village. Kwame's reputation was at stake, and he knew he had to prove his innocence. He went to the village elders and begged them to help him solve the mystery. After much discussion, the elders decided to investigate the matter further. They questioned Amina and discovered that she had indeed been pregnant for several months. But when they asked her who the father was, she simply pointed at Kwame again and repeated her claim. The elders were puzzled. They knew Amina was not of sound mind, but they also couldn't ignore her accusations. They decided to seek the help of the village diviner, Mama Zara. Mama Zara was a wise woman who was believed to have a special connection with the spirits. She listened carefully to Amina's story and then asked to be left alone with her for a while. After what seemed like hours, Mama Zara emerged from her hut with a solemn expression on her face. She called for Kwame and the village elders to join her. "You won't believe who impregnated the mad woman," she announced gravely. As Kofi journeyed deeper into the wilderness, he encountered many challenges. He faced fierce animals, treacherous terrain, and the scorching heat of the sun. But he pressed on, driven by the knowledge that his village depended on him. Finally, after days of travel, Kofi reached the source of the river, a mystical waterfall hidden deep within the heart of the forest. He stood in awe of its beauty, feeling the power of the flowing water coursing through his veins. As he approached the waterfall, Kofi heard the voice of the river spirit once again, urging him to dive into its depths. With a deep breath, he plunged into the crystal-clear waters, feeling them envelop him like a warm embrace. Underneath the surface, Kofi discovered a hidden cavern filled with glowing crystals that shimmered in the dim light. In the center of the cavern, he found a sacred altar adorned with ancient symbols. Guided by the voice of the river spirit, Kofi performed a ritual that had been passed down through generations. He channeled his energy into the altar, calling upon the powers of the river to restore life to the land. Suddenly, a great rush of water burst forth from the cavern, cascading down the mountainside and flowing into the parched earth below. The villagers watched in amazement as streams and rivers sprang to life once again, bringing much-needed relief to their drought-stricken land. Kofi emerged from the waterfall, hailed as a hero by his people. They celebrated his bravery and thanked him for his sacrifice, knowing that it was his connection to the river spirit that had saved them all. But Kofi knew that his journey was far from over. With the blessing of the river spirit, he vowed to protect his village and the natural world for generations to come, knowing that he was destined for greatness as the son of the river. And so, the legend of Kofi, the boy who was born of the river, lived on, inspiring future generations to respect and cherish the sacred waters that sustained them all. As Kofi returned to his village, he was greeted with cheers and celebrations. The villagers hailed him as a true hero, grateful for his bravery and the protection he had provided. But even as he basked in their praise, Kofi knew that his journey was far from over. With the guidance of the river spirit, Kofi dedicated himself to safeguarding the natural world and its inhabitants. He became a guardian of the land, traveling from village to village, helping those in need and standing against any threats that arose. Years passed and Kofi's legend grew. People from far and wide sought his aid, knowing that he was the one who could help them in times of trouble. He became known as the Guardian of the River, title that filled him with pride and humility. But amidst his travels and adventures, Kofi never forgot his home village and the river that had shaped his destiny. He returned often, offering his wisdom and guidance to his fellow villagers and ensuring that the bond between them and the river remained strong. One day, as Kofi sat by the riverbank, reflecting on his journey, he heard a familiar voice whispering on the wind. It was the river spirit, speaking to him once again. "Your journey has been long and difficult, my son," the spirit said. "But your work is not yet done. There are still challenges ahead, and the world needs your courage and strength more than ever." With a sense of purpose burning within him, Kofi rose to his feet, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. He knew that as long as he had the guidance of the river spirit and the support of his village, he could overcome any obstacle. And so, with a determined heart and unwavering resolve, Kofi set out once again, ready to continue his quest as the guardian of the river, protecting the land and its people for generations to come. And so, Kofi's story comes to an end, but his legacy lives on in the hearts and minds of those he touched. As he travels the land, his deeds inspire others to stand up for what is right and to protect the natural world that sustains us all. Back in his village, the river continues to flow, its waters a constant reminder of the bond between the people and the land. And though Kofi may be gone, his spirit remains, guiding and watching over his beloved home. As the sun sets on another day in the villagers gather around the fire, sharing stories of Kofi's bravery and the wonders of the river. And amidst the laughter and the music, they know that they are blessed to have had such a hero in their midst. For Kofi, the boy born of the river, has left behind a legacy that will endure for generations to come. A legacy of courage, wisdom, and the unbreakable bond between humanity and the natural world.